Hello, hello, and happiest of Fridays to everybody. I'm Fox 19 Now, First Alert Meteorologist Brad Maushart with a pretty, it's not bad news, Brad, today. I tried my best, but the worst I could do is blinding sunshine out there. Really, really nice. If you haven't been outside yet, and it's 7:14, you missed most of it, but you could still get out there and enjoy almost 2 hours of daylight here. Really comfortable. Plenty of sunshine, blue sky showing up behind me from our Queensgate camera looking back over at downtown, and I mean, it's really just wonderful outside. Not just cooler temperatures, but we are also seeing some lower humidity. It makes it feel just about perfect outside. It's not going to last forever. Unfortunately, in the biz, here in Cincinnati, that is what we call a little bit of false fall out there. It's not going to last long. We're right back to summer by next week. And this weekend's going to be nice and comfy, but next weekend we're talking low 90s, feels like temperatures back in the mid 90s again, just a week away. So, try to take advantage of it while you can. Let's have a look at today's weather numbers, shall we? I had about 5,000 numbers to pick from. We went with this. And I know some people are just tuning in, so I'm going to scare them away with all the numbers right off the top, as I typically do. Today's number 78.8 as we round out July, first day of August today, and you probably noticed that with all the bills coming in. 78.8, that was the average temperature through the month of July, including both highs and low temperatures. So on both diurnal, nocturnal swings, 78.8 is where we ended up. The normal for the month of July is 75.9. So we were a little bit above normal for that, by almost 3 degrees, 2.9. 2024 was 77 degrees. So again, above last year as well. And then you factor in all the nasty humidity we've seen the last couple of weeks. It's been pretty miserable outside. So we are starting, the month of August on a much different note. So like I said, get out there and enjoy some sunshine. Speaking of stormy weather, some nasty weather, July also featured a bunch of lightning. Now, compared to normal, I don't have this broken down into monthly totals here for the rest of the year, but I do have what we typically see on average for the year for different states. And I can't break it down by county level either. Unfortunately, it's just by state level. So we're including the rest of Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky into this total. Total almost 500,000 lightning strikes through the month of July. Kentucky, the gold medal winners there, almost 200,000 strikes per year. I know that sounds like a lot, right? But per year, to put it in perspective, on average from 15 to 2019, that's the data set I have. Total lightning strikes, Kentucky averages 5.06 million per year. So just a little snippet there, about 10% or so came in the month of July this year from what the normal is. Indiana sees about 3.3 million per year, and Ohio a little bit less. Over here getting a little bit farther away from the big storm zone there in the central part of the United States. Ohio, per year, about 2.6 million lightning strikes. It is not just the tri-state area, that is the entire state of Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. So another little number there for you, almost 500,000 just last month alone in the 3 states. And then finally, here's my last one, because this one's coming up quick. It is 7:17, and we thank you for joining us here on the 7:15 Weather Show. Sunset tonight, 8:49. Still pretty late, but look what happens by the end of this month. We're going to lose another 1 hour and 7 minutes of daylight this month on our way to those shorter days in fall and eventually winter. By the end of this month, we're a little bit closer to the top of the hour there, 8:10 in the sunset department. By the time we hit December, we're talking 5:15 for the earliest sunset time. So if you like those later sunsets, now's the time. Get out there to join us, especially on a day like this where we have nothing but blue sky here behind me. Nothing but blue sky there in the foreground either. There's that sun getting ready to go down. Nice, crisp outside. I think there's a few spider webs on there. That's why the sun kind of looks like it does on this camera. Beautiful shot there nonetheless. Got to be a lot of boats out this weekend. 76 degrees. We have very few weather issues to contend with outside of just slapping on some sunscreen. Here's another view of it. Look in the other direction. This is back over towards the southeast, and here's what we're dealing with temperature-wise. 76 right now at the airport. Abundant sunshine. It's a little breezy. That wind not going to calm down much until we hit the midnight hour or so and head into the overnight, but it will eventually calm down. 76 right now. Again, normal high this time of the year, even for August the 1st, is 86 degrees. So we're running well below that. I don't even know. I'd have to check the ops. Let me look at this real quick, and we'll see where we were today. See if I can find my 5-minute observations for, let's see, CVG And we'll see if we even got into the 80s today, because if we didn't, that would have beat another streak we were on, which would have been up to about, I think, 52, maybe 53 days of 80-degree plus heat. And it is just slowly loading. We'll see if that comes back up in a second. We'll check back in on that, because it does not want to load. 76, a little breezy, a lot of sunshine, but very little humidity. Like I said, it wasn't just a temperature drop behind that cold front. It took all the humidity with it, and it's making it feel just like fall outside. So hopefully, I mean, I almost want a cider, like a hot cider out there this morning when I walked out the door and hit the gym early this morning. It was, you know, because you're so used to it after the last couple of weeks. We had 7 days of heat advisories, first alert weather days in a row here this past week, and you just got used to it. It felt like South Florida out there. This morning, it finally felt like fall, a little bit more like September temperatures. So that's what we're going to be dealing with through the overnight again. 76 right now, 72 up in Dayton, 75 in Columbus, and you factor in that lower humidity and just barely a cloud in the sky. Really, really nice out there, and this is where you're waking up tomorrow morning. A lot of spots are back in the upper 50s, low 60s. Some spots, maybe some mid-50s if you really stay mostly clear through the overnight, but again, really pleasant outside. If you like this, though, enjoy it now. It will not stick around very long. You'll have to wait until fall, the real fall, comes around to soak this back up again. Just not too common for the month of July or August for us. 81 degrees outside tomorrow, 83 Sunday. Comfy weekend. Sunday, the humidity values start to go back up a little bit. And when you're in the direct sunlight, yeah, it's going to feel a little warmer there for the second half of the weekend. But still nice, and about 98.9% of us will have no weather problems outside this weekend. Sunday, though, there is a slim chance we could see a shower or thunderstorm down to our southwest primarily. Most of those rain chances are going to be through southern Kentucky, Tennessee. So for us, it's just a very slim chance, but most of us will have no problems this weekend. Here it is. You'll see it on our look ahead, and here's another issue with this, because the Reds, if they would have just stayed and played this last game with Atlanta, we would have had a beautiful game tomorrow. They're playing in the middle of the infield at Bristol Motor Speedway, which is in northeastern Tennessee, right around the Virginia state line. And if you look at it on the map, I'll put my little pointer thing up here. It sits right about here, right? It's not that far away, honestly. I mean, I think they might have taken even just the buses down there to this game. As the crow flies, about 225 miles away from Cincinnati, right, where they're playing this game. Atlanta's probably not that far away either, so really it's kind of a half and half home match for these two teams. But look how, even only a couple hundred miles away, how big the difference in the forecast is. Here, Saturday, we have no issues happening. Nice, cool, dry. Down here, a little bit further up to the south, and again, that's pointing close to where Bristol Speedway is, down here to the southeast. They do have a chance for some storms to roll through tomorrow evening. The game, the first pitch is a little after 7 o'clock, I think, and maybe 7:30. And by 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, there will be chances for storms rolling through that part of the country. So something to keep an eye on, because that is a 90,000 person crowd. And Steve will be helping to forecast for that, because the Reds are the home team. So a little other spicy nugget there is that Steve will be helping with the weather tomorrow evening. I mean, the whole team will, but primarily it's going to be Steve through the day Saturday. So something an eyeball out there if you're going to be watching the Reds take on the Braves inside a motor speedway, of which I still don't really... I know why they're doing it. They're trying to get the record crowd for a regular season game. I think that's kind of the primary goal. And they'll have about 90,000 plus for that game tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that thunderstorm risk. By Sunday, if you lost it there, the high-pressure system moves from our west to our east, our northeast. And winds are going to start to shift. The winds around an area of high pressure in a clockwise direction. So as we get to the back side of the system, this thing really hates it when I try drawing it in real time. Let's try this. That's an awful arrow. We'll just act like, yeah, you almost have to do it that way. Winds on the other side of the system by the time we hit the second half of the weekend. They're going to shift direction, and that's going to pull in a little bit more humidity for the second half of the weekend. Just the slimmest, I'm telling you, the slimmest chances for rain out there, and it's mostly going to be here in our southwesternmost communities. I really can't draw with this thing. I don't think there's really a... Unless I had a pen, it's going to be impossible to draw with this. But that's our rain chance on Sunday. I mean, it's very, very slim. They're certainly going to see better rain chances down towards Louisville, southern Kentucky, Bowling Green area or so. But for us, most of us are going to stay dry. High pressure is still close enough. We shouldn't have many issues. But the wind shift is going to be enough to take us from the low 80s to the mid 80s, and with it, slightly higher humidity. It'll feel a little bit more like summer again by Sunday. And then even more so as we work our way into next week. We're going to stay mostly dry Monday, slim chance for a few showers. Tuesday is when we start to open up the doors more as high pressure slides out. Spotty storms outside Tuesday. Still no washout, certainly, and more of us than not are going to stay dry, but at least the rain chances are on the rise. Wednesday is our next best chance for storms. So if you have any plans outside Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, not a washout again, but a good chance for storms rolling through, and then we dry back out into Thursday. Now here's the problem. This is what happened towards the end of July. When you dry back out and you see mostly dry conditions, temperatures this time of the year tend to rise very quickly. And we'll start to see that by the end of next week. We're going to hang around the low 80s with those better rain chances Wednesday. We're back to 85 Thursday. We're back into the 90s by next weekend. We're talking August the 9th and 10th. Second weekend, rather, of August. 9th and 10th is when we'll see the better, heat chances building back in. Here's a look at those temperatures, and you can see climbing, even though the numbers were a little delayed there with the color, climbing into next weekend as we dry back out. Spotty storms, of course, with the heat and humidity not out of the question for next Saturday. It's a long ways away, so things can change, but right now the general trend as we work our way into next weekend will not be nearly as nice as we're seeing outside this weekend. I mean, it's going to be beautiful outside tomorrow and Sunday both. Estimated rainfall again through this weekend. More of us are not going to see no issues outside. If we see any kind of rainfall Saturday or Sunday, it's primarily going to be well south or southwest of downtown. I don't really think we see much rain at all, but nonetheless, there is that slim chance on Sunday. We're going to wait into next week. That changes. Wednesday especially is when we'll see the next best chance for any kind of significant rainfall. Some spots might pick up a little over an inch, but still not a ton as we round out the weekend and head into next week. Mowing, again, really nice stretch here ahead. I have it good even for Sunday because I don't think we see much rain. If you've been putting this off like me because you did not want to go out and have a heat stroke, now is your time. You can get that in for the next hour and a half tonight, or if you want to wait off until tomorrow like I will be doing, you can still enjoy a really nice Saturday. You don't have to wake up early or anything. I know Rob mentioned that Steve was getting up real early to walk all his dogs out there. Don't have to wait for this. I mean, it's going to be crisp. If you like the chilly air, then yeah, wake up early. But, I mean, all day long, 81 low humidity for Saturday. That's your day. That's where we start the morning. Again, 59 degrees, a little fall feel out there. You might have to go back to hot coffee from the iced coffee you've been stuck on for the last month. 60 for Sunday. Still a nice morning Sunday, but then things start to change with that southerly breeze into the afternoon, and you can see where the lows go from there. Back above normal as early as Wednesday. And here are the high temperatures over that same span. 81, again, a really beautiful Saturday. Sunday, not much, worse than that, just a little bit more humid. And then next week, the end of next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the trend is up. Next Saturday, I have us at 90 degrees. It's a long ways out. That's your bonus day, but looks pretty warm outside. And here's where the humidity is gone. Again, it fell off a cliff yesterday. That was really, really nice outside. Hopefully you've been enjoying it today. You'll enjoy it tomorrow, but by Sunday it starts to tick up. And it's like the mountain climber game. Ho-de-doo-dee, ho-de-doo. It's all the way back up to very humid as early as Wednesday with a good chance for storms, and it's going to be worse than that by next weekend. And it's not just this next weekend. I mean, really, days 8 through 14, it's not just us either. Just about everybody in the country, with the exception of like Glacier National Park, North Dakota, South Dakota, and all the way down into Nebraska, everybody else is at least above normal. It's going to be a slow roast for us as we work our way towards the middle of August. Not a lot of improvement. That's why I'm telling you, please, if you don't have plans, get outside, enjoy this weekend. It's not going to get better through mid-August here. False fall. This really sums it up because by the middle of August, I mean, it's well above normal again in a lot of spots out there, including the Ohio Valley. Here's your next 7 days, and there's no chance like I would have, the noon show to mess this up because I'm only using the evening version of this forecast, which starts on Saturday. So this is the right one. Saturday, comfortable. Again, if you're heading down to the Reds Stadium, I say Reds Stadium, Reds game. It's not in a Reds Stadium. It is in a speedway. They're playing that game tomorrow. It's comfy here. A lot of sunshine down in Bristol. Could see some storms. Just be aware of that. 81 degrees outside, 83 for your Sunday. Sunday, there is a doubleheader, back-to-back matches over at TQL Stadium. It is FC Cincinnati hosting Juarez. Out there Sunday. I think that first match is at 5:30. The next game follows immediately after two different teams. It's going to be Monterey, who FC Cincinnati beat just last night. Monterey and New York Red Bulls are playing out there Sunday after the FC Cincinnati match. This is what they call Leagues Cup. It is a MLS inter-season trophy winning league tournament, I guess. I don't know. It's whatever it is. I kind of like the U.S. Open Cup better, but alas, MLS decided to go with this. Leagues Cup is out there Sunday, doubleheader. Great night for some footy. A little stickier than Saturday, but still pretty good. Slim chance for a shower or storm on Monday, but better storm chances. When I say better, these are not going to be washout days. Wednesday, there is a good chance that a few spots could get thumped with some heavy rain, but just spotty for the most part. Not everybody gets wet either day. And then temperatures start to turn it around and head back up as we work way towards the end of next week. So it is now 7:30. I've been on for 15 minutes. JD, I am doing great. It is a Friday, and the weather is fantastic. It really goes against everything I stand for in terms of bad news. It's been, but I'm doing good. Weather this weekend looks really nice. Hopefully, like I said, you can get out and get, some sunshine in and comfortable sunshine. Get a Fest last weekend when that was happening, miserable. Anything you were doing last weekend, you're just sweating the second you walked out the door. It will be the opposite weekend of that. It is not going to get better than this for August. I don't think it. Maybe we could be surprised. We could see a little turnaround by the end of August, but long-term trends have us going right back to summer really quick. 88 Friday, 90 next Saturday. So this could be our best weekend of August. Hopefully, you get to enjoy it outside. It is the best I could do, and it's pretty good. Spotty storms return next week. Let's see. Any other questions? I don't have any here, which is always good because it's a Friday. I imagine most people are out enjoying it and not watching me talk for a half hour at a time. I would recommend that, honestly. We had 7 first alert weather days in a row, 7 heat advisories, days with heat advisories in the tri-state in a row this past week, which means, each of those days heat index value is 100 to 105. Let me see if my data ever loaded over here. An error occurred while processing your request. You don't say. Oh, let's see. 5-minute obs. Maybe I can get a better idea here for Lunkin. Well, I have Lunkin. Let's see if I can change that and it just cooperates. Amazing. Sometimes things happen. Let's see if we ever hit 80 today. I do not officially, on this, have an 80-degree temperature. The warmest we got was 79 degrees. We hit it at 3:05 Eastern Daylight Time. 3:05, we were at 79 degrees, and we stayed at 79 all the way through 5:50. So it was very close. I think that northeast wind kept temperatures down just a bit. So that would have broken our streak of 50-some-odd days of 80-plus at the airport. Now, that's unofficial. I'll see what the climate report says. Let me see if they've put that out yet. Cincy climate. No, let's try this. It does not like. Let's try this. Climate report today. This would be August the 1st. They have at 2:59 the official high temperature today of 78 degrees. So that would break our streak. And I don't know if they've updated. They put this in at 4 p.m. local time. So I guess that's what we're going with, 78 degrees. And that is why I can't always guarantee things I see on these 5-minute obs. So even though we were at 79 on there for a couple hours, they have it at 78. So that is just how it works. So that breaks that streak. Nice. But it's not going to last long because we're back in the 80s as early as tomorrow with a lot of sunshine outside. I don't have any more questions. You're probably getting bored. I could go back and talk about numbers for a while, but they're just depressing. It is going to be Erin. She's pulling a double tomorrow. She's going to be with us in the morning and the evening. You'll be able to catch meteorologist Erin Ashley early and late on a Saturday. Anna will be back early and late on Sunday. They did a little switcheroo on us this weekend. And then I'll be back next week again for Steve. Steve has the day off today, even though he's working with the Reds tomorrow, so you can bet he'll be working with that storm chance and play for Bristol. What else happens? I forget. I think everybody else is normal. I think Aaron might work. Oh, no, it's Anna that's working midday on Monday. I'll get this right. Sometimes I remember schedules. In case you cared, I'll be back on the evening again Monday. Don't forget Steve's retirement. Not that anybody's counting down. It is 28, well, now 27 days away from today. He's out of here on the 28th. The 28th of August, 48 years in the market, and now down to the final month. And so we got just a couple more weeks. And I was mentioning a little special side project I've been busy with the last couple of weeks, getting ready for that. That has been postponed one whole week. So instead of launching that this coming Monday, I think it's going to be happening on the 11th. So stay tuned. Some interesting things happening. 10 days from now, some changes. That is not Steve's early retirement. He's not surprising with that. That's still the 28th. We have some interesting changes happening here on the 11th. You'll be able to check out. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you because it's not changing back. So on the 11th, stay tuned for that. Excited to show you what we've been working on here behind the scenes for the last, couple months, pretty much since I've been here. Other than that, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Really nice. Shaping up to be a probably what will, I think it's probably going to end up being the best weekend of August. The first one, why not? 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August, great weather, hot from there. We're warming back up towards the end of the week. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Stop listening to me. Get outside, touch some grass, see some sunshine. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, dark and early in the morning. Actually, well, that's a lie. I'll be on later tonight at 10, 11. We'll be back on the stream tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.